And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I am John. With me, as always, Tyler.
Tyler, that's me.
That is you. Big T, T-Dog, T-Bone, T-Steak. Tyler.
You had a good rhythm going, and then you drew one out, like an extra half beat, and it threw me off.
I do it.
I'm all about rhythm now.
Intentionally.
Everything in my life.
Really? Why is that?
Well, we'll get there.
You do this all the time.
I know. I like
where
to.
you have a perfect segue for the last topic of the day.
I like to tease.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Hi-Fi Rush.
That game is, you'll have to find out at the end of the podcast.
Yep.
You're going to have to make it that far. But first, it's our weekly weigh-in.
Yeah, should I bring up your stuff?
Announce my stats.
Okay.
I threw you a little curveball there.
Sorry.
We talked about the agenda, threw you a curveball.
Bring up the app.
But I try to test you every day.
Yeah.
I want to see you get better, Tyler.
All right, well, thanks.
You can totally not tell that Tyler's worked all day today.
I'm getting there. All right, hold on. Here we go. John.
Weigh in.
John.
Weekly weigh in.
You got.
That's alliteration.
Okay. I actually have arrows pointing in different directions. I'm assuming that's the direction that you are trending in.
Hey, that's probably a smart assumption.
Yeah. Body fat trending down. You're at 17.1%.
Hey, does it tell you what it was last week? Or no?
Yeah. Man, you were just.
If it's not there,
you're doing it. You were at 18.2 last week. So you went
whole
down a
percentage point.
That's pretty huge.
That's insane.
It's not. I wouldn't look too much into that.
Okay.
Because it all depends on a ton of different factors and stuff. So, not to get gross, but it's like
weather?
When was the last time you used the restroom and that sort of thing? Like, that's all. Because it's shooting electricity in you and like different.
It's shooting it through my poop?
Basically.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Bone mass stayed even at 4%. Your height, you're still at 6'1", buddy. So, I don't know.
How does it I guess it's how fast the
electricity comes up and goes back down, yeah.
I'm 6'1". This is
6'1".
official.
It's done.
This is official.
Yeah.
Someone called me 5'11". I think it was a girl, which hurt extra bad.
Let me see if that helps me out. No, I'm 5'10". Okay. That's good.
You're 5'10"?
Yeah.
It says 6'0" on my license. I might go down to the DMV and get that changed.
It says 5'9" on my license, and I don't care, but it's all right.
Get that inch, man.
Yeah. Muscle mass went up to 78.7%.
Can I ask an inappropriate question?
Sure.
Are you actually ready for this?
How inappropriate are we talking?
Kind of inappropriate.
Okay, go for it.
Like definitely inappropriate, but nothing that
I
should
can
get
always
us
cut it.
canceled.
Let's do a quick pause. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so here's the question.
Yeah.
Would you take any inches off your height and add it to your...
1,000%.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
I knew you would. I could just tell.
There's like maybe a good 4 or 5 inches I could probably cut from my height.
What?
No, maybe not.
No,
100%.
no.
I think most people would. You wouldn't?
No.
Wow. Okay. I would.
Well, if I'm 6'1", I'd do one.
Yeah, just get that
I'm
extra.
6'1", I'd do one, yeah.
I do one or two.
But I've been operating under the theory or the assumption that I'm 6'0", and I have no inches to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're looking at 4 or 5. That's not true.
You went up a percent in muscle mass. So you lost the percent of body fat, went up in muscle mass.
Turn it into muscle.
That you'll see that fluctuates. So again, I wouldn't look too much into that.
Sure.
And then your weight went down to 181.7. Last week, do you remember where you were last week?
182.8.
183.3 is where you were
Really?
last week. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I lost a little over a pound.
Yeah.
Pound and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. These are good numbers.
That's good.
These are good. Awesome. I ate nothing today, by the way. So.
I went up 0.3 pounds.
Hey.
But my muscle mass actually went up 2%. So that's probably why.
From doing what?
Literally nothing. Well, that's not true.
Something.
I moved
You did something.
I picked them up.
What, the weights?
The weights.
To clean them again?
Cleaned underneath them.
Yeah. That's a little heavier than the max setting because you got the base too.
Well, I picked up the weights, moved the base, put the weights back in. Yeah.
Hey, it still counts.
Yeah, and I have the subscription to the I actually do have the subscription. Did I tell you that?
No.
With the weightlifting thing?
No.
So I paid the $60 or $80 or whatever it was for the year.
Why?
Just so I have it. I really like the app. I will always pay for a good, well-made app.
$60?
For a year? I pay $60 for a video game.
It's true. That's true. We do pay 60, 70 now.
70,
at
yeah,
some
for a
points.
lot of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. What is unspoken? What's the fuck is that name?
Forspoken was 70.
Forspoken, Unspoken.
Dead
That's
Space
70.
Dead Space was 60, but it's a
Dead
remake.
Space is 60. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is probably a better game.
We will find out.
We will, but I have a feeling
Yes,
that
yes, you're probably right.
the world's not lying to us.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wild. That's crazy.
yeah.
Dude, McChicken is $2 now officially. It's $1.99.
That's
Sad.
high. That's very high.
It used to be $1.
Yeah.
It used to be 99 cents. It is now $1.99. I was checking on the McDonald's app today.
Inflation sucks.
Absolutely. Shout out McDonald's app though. That is one of the most OP apps you could probably get.
Have you tried Taco Bell's app? I think we've talked about this before.
No,
Taco Bell has a pretty good app.
Is it better than every Friday you get free medium fries at McDonald's
Oh, well then probably not.
with the purchase of $1.
Yeah.
So you can literally get a McChicken, French fries.
Is there anything
For
you get for
$2?
$1?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not like a
Well, you can
little
get a
ice
coffee.
cream
You
cup?
can get a coffee.
Oh, coffee. Like
Yeah.
senior citizens coffee.
Senior citizens coffee. Yeah, that's
65
way too
cents.
hot.
Yeah.
You got to wait 5 hours before you can
Yeah.
sip it. But no, that's the best app. Like if the Pens win, you get a free chicken nuggets.
So when you say it's the best app, it's because of what it's giving you. It's not the well-designed.
Deal-wise.
Yeah. Okay.
Deal-wise.
I
It's
got
not
you.
bad designed. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm curious because you seem to have a pretty critical mind.
I have
when
a
it
very
comes
critical
to,
mind on that stuff.
Yeah. So I would be curious to see your take on it. To me, it looks pretty clean and easy to navigate.
As long as it's snappy, man. Like that's the thing is sometimes people try to do too much, and then it's like this just lagging thing, or the animations are too much. Like, man, you need to.
I think
needs
it's
to be
clean.
snapped.
I think it's clean.
Yeah.
I think you'd like it. If I were to guess what grade you'd give it, I would say an 8.2.
8 points. Oh, I'm grading on the Couch Company scale, but apps.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's actually a segment I'd love to see. And then hear your thoughts.
I would do
about-
that in a heartbeat. Yeah, easy. Bless you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You could have paused it, but
Nah.
that's too much work.
Look, I'm keeping the height the height length conversation. Everything's
Height,
coming on.
length,
Here. This is
width.
raw. This is raw talk.
This is raw. So, are you going over your stats or? Oh
I
no,
mean,
you
I
did.
can.
You did. You did.
It was all. I mean, it was all
You
the same.
stayed the same.
I gained
That's
0.3
right.
pounds and went up 2%.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty
Let me
good.
see.
Anyways,
Ish. Yeah.
I get excited for the weekly win. The problem is though now, like I said earlier, I didn't eat anything today, and I didn't eat anything the first time I came over here. So now, if I want to stay consistent, I'm going to have to starve myself until podcast time.
That sounds bad.
Oh, it sounds
I
terrible.
feel like that's not a good way to do it.
You're
man.
lecturing me?
Yeah, man.
Nah.
I've walked that path before.
You don't know. That's all you do. This guy shows up to D&D last night with a bag of pretzels and two diet iced teas for a total of 500 calories. You could have got like a chicken sandwich or something, man.
Yeah, but that's not going to keep the iced teas were a specific.
You could have got a chicken sandwich in the iced teas. The iced teas are nothing.
Yeah, well, I needed the caffeine. I wasn't even really hungry, to be honest.
You crushed a bag of pretzels.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything. I'm not hungry now. I'm not gonna be hungry when we go to dinner, and I'm still gonna just crush it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're never hungry?
Not really.
I'm very hungry.
Like,
right
I
now.
mean, I shouldn't say I'm never. Of course, I'm hungry in certain times, but like, I'll eat like a bite of something. I'm like, okay, I'm satiated, and then I'll crush the package or pack or box or whatever.
Because you're a completionist?
So I truly think that's part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. So I'll find myself looking at stuff where it's like, oh, well, I'll finish to like this one sleeve of crackers versus like the serving size or whatever. I mean, if you want to get, I don't know, theoretical, like, oh, your parents always told you to finish your dinner or finish your plate. Like, that's what the commercials tell you to do is like blame your parents for everything. Like that's, I'm a man, right? Like I can make my own decisions, but yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of, well, I don't want to waste money, so I'm always going to finish something.
Right.
And in my mind too, it's like, well, if I just go hard on this and clean out our cupboards, I'll force myself to eat better because I won't have anything else to eat.
That's a stretch.
And then I just order out.
Yeah.
So it's just
that's
that.
a
It's
stretch.
stupid. Yeah.
No, I got you. I am the same way, but when it comes to entertainment, and what I mean by that is like the reason people will like recommend TV shows to me, and the reason I'm always so hesitant, like Peaky Blinders, is that I like once I start it, I have to finish it. And if it's 5 seasons,
I'm banking on that.
Well, yeah, but if it's like 5 seasons, it's like that's a big time commitment.
It is. Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of understand how you feel. Although for me, I just get really hungry. Then I eat a lot. No, you should have seen me yesterday, dude. I got a double. I was going to get double steak Chipotle.
Yeah.
But they were out of steak, so I did the barbacoa.
That's pretty good. Barbacoa is not bad.
But my burrito was so big, they were like, we got to double wrap this. We can't.
Oh, no. Another 400 calories. It
kind of messed me. I was still under barely for the day just because I was, giving myself some room because sometimes I like to drink at D&D.
Yeah, but do you think that they even measure that stuff out correctly?
The tortillas?
The tortillas, what they put in it.
It's got to be
ballpark,
close.
baby.
It's got to be close.
Yeah.
It's like 360. That's a lot.
For what?
For one tortilla.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is like the rice, I think they're serving is what, like 210? There's no way they're like, oh, this is exactly 210 calories.
Oh, yeah,
rice.
yeah. It's gonna be more or less.
Over. Yeah.
I would say it's probably less than what they put on
in a tortilla. You're right. In a bowl, I think it's more.
What's more?
What they put in there. I think a tortilla, you actually get less of everything. So
yeah, you do.
It's like the shell like kind of mitigates some of the extra. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But then they overfill everything on a bowl because they're just trying to fill the bowl so it doesn't look sad. And then you end up having just as many calories as if you ate a tortilla.
Yeah, I always go with the tortilla. Like, I understand the argument that you get more from the bowl, and a lot of people like the bowl strategy, but I just love that tortilla. I love it in a neat package, swaddled up.
I'm going to throw this out there.
All right.
I would love a burrito from Chipotle.
Yep.
Bring it home, don't eat it, throw it in the refrigerator for like 3-4 hours, then eat it. Like, I just want a cold burrito.
I think
it like basically holds its shape when you bite into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were damaged as a kid.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know why you... you just want a structurally sound burrito.
Yeah, I like a warm burrito with all the cold stuff in it, like the sour cream and cheese and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like a cold burrito that you don't have to, like, you can eat at your leisure and it's not like falling apart and stuff because it's just congealed together.
I don't know. Mine like stuck together pretty well yesterday, and that thing was that was a big
you had
boy.
2 shells.
That was a big boy.
Of course, it stuck together well.
The guy who sold it to me called it a unit.
A unit.
He's like, man, this thing's a unit, and I was like, it was funny. I laughed.
They got those youngins in the
because he was trying to put it into the small bag and it wasn't fitting. He had to give me a big bag,
a big chip bag.
This thing was a big boy, bro. That was big.
I'm glad I missed that part of you eating that. Though.
Oh, it was thick. Well, I got there a little early and I was like, I got to finish this before Tyler gets here.
Yeah,
he's gonna show up with this little bag of pretzels. This big ass burrito.
Oh, man, I would have been just crying into my bag.
I know. We're supposed to be we're supposed to be,
propping each other up.
Yeah, in unison here.
Yeah.
Anyways, Chipotle is so good. It takes a lot of willpower for me not to just order that every day.
It's very good. Yeah.
It's so good, but it's just too much.
Yeah, well, that's your day at that point, yeah.
I'm thinking about, I don't know how we became like a nutrition podcast, but here we are.
Whatever.
And we have the worst advice ever. It's like, just starve yourself all day.
Yeah,
and
eat
look, 1,500 calories.
Do you want to lose weight or not?
Yeah.
Fatty.
But I was starting to think like, man, bread's just so many calories and not because I'm trying to hit a certain number of protein and that's the wall I'm running into. It's like
you're not hitting enough protein?
No.
Oh, see, I'm the exact opposite.
Too much protein.
I have way too much protein.
I eat too much bread and shit.
Yeah.
And that's like that's nothing. That's just calories. Like a loaf of bread is like 300 calories for no protein.
See, that's what killed me on keto is I could never get. I mean, the fat that they want you to eat is just astronomical. But I would always just crush the protein, and then they're like, "Well, now you're just gonna burn protein, idiot."
Yeah, right.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, but I was thinking about just doing like a sandwich. I was thinking about this in the shower today.
Oh yeah,
John shower thoughts. This one's not as weird, but doing it like a sandwich for lunch, but like lettuce is my bread instead of.
Yeah, you could do it.
I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's carbs in lettuce too, but it's not bread.
It's not bread. It's the calories I'm worried about. It's not the carbs.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking at your macros,
I literally ignore everything but protein and calories.
Well, then who cares about the macros? What are you trying to hit with the protein? Isn't it a balance? Because you could have a ton of protein, but if your carbs are up or your fats are up, it's not going to matter.
Protein's for muscle growth.
Right, but isn't it based... Well, look, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know.
If I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm going to lose weight. But I need a sufficient amount of protein so that my muscles can grow.
Understood. I understand that,
Right.
but what I'm saying is like if you have X amount of protein, but you have more carbs than protein and stuff like that, isn't your body just burning like carbs instead of like muscle growth or whatever? Maybe not.
Well, that would be good then, right?
I don't.
Because I don't want.
Maybe you're probably.
I don't
right.
want my body to eat the muscles.
If you're gonna listen to one of us, I'd listen to Jon.
No, I
He
wouldn't listen
actually
to me.
works out.
No.
Yeah.
Listen to Tyler.
You are now the medical.
All I do is drink one protein shake a day and then eat a shit ton of food at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's the Couch Company. With a name like Couch Company, you know we're fitness experts.
Yes,
so
exactly.
the first item on our agenda, that was item pre one. That was our preamble. Let me see if I can remember our first item. Our first item is we came up with a little
Challenge.
new segment challenge thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, we came up with a new challenge, a new activity. I'm really not settling in on what this thing is, but anyways, what the parameters are for this, that's what's clear. Tyler and I have an allotment of a certain number of hours. I believe we settled on 120. 50. And we need to create like a Google Doc or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can assign each other one piece of entertainment per whatever, a certain amount of hours from our allotment that the other has to play or watch or whatever, listen to. I think we said no books, so no reading.
Fine, like whatever.
But our first assignment last week went pretty well, I would say. I think it went right to plan. Tyler, I don't know if you have a differing opinion, but mine was...
Am I doing mine first?
I think you should. I think you've been keeping this in all week.
So I told Jon, hey, I'm going to make you watch the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us. Now, I off air, I did expand that to the first 3 because the 3rd episode I thought you needed to see because we needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
You get what I would argue, and we'll talk, it's a recently good TV show. Like, it's a TV show that I think everyone should at least watch the first few episodes on, especially if you like the game. And in retaliation, which I didn't know at the time, Jon said, hey, you're gonna watch Freddy Got Fingered. I'm like, okay, well, sure. It's probably like, I'm thinking like an Ace Ventura or some like slapstick BS comedy or whatever. And I was like, all right, we'll see what young Jon liked. I remember seeing in the movie in like Eagle videos and things like that. So I started watching it. You can get it on Plex for free. That should be red flag number 1.
Yeah.
And I started watching that. It was a little weird. It was early enough that I was like, they're just like grating. Like, it wasn't like weird, but it was just grating. And I noticed that the audio like was just echoey. Like, it was like just a double audio thing. And then ads just kept popping up. Like, I think I went through like 3 minutes of ads in like the first maybe like 5 to 7 minutes of the movie. It was insane. And I was like,
you would have doubled the length of the movie.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So I paid $3.99 on Apple and rented the movie. And I can honestly say Freddy Got Fingered is the worst thing I've ever seen. And when I say ever seen, I'm truly talking about every piece of content I have ever consumed within reason. You know what I mean? Like, not like TikToks or whatever. Like movies, TV, video game, whatever.
Right.
It is by far and away the worst thing. Like, I don't think any person in that movie should ever work again, act again, be allowed to be in public.
Yeah.
Just, it's the worst thing in the world. Like, I wasn't ready for it. And I was texting you just like, I must have wanted to shut that thing off 3-4 times. I was so ashamed of it that like Chelsea came out and she was like, oh, keep it on. Like, I'm always watching TV, so you can have it on and stuff. She maybe lasted 10 minutes, maybe. And she's like, I'm going to go in my other room because I think that was at the point when he's like swinging a baby around on an umbilical cord, just flinging blood everywhere. And I was just like, no, like, absolutely not. Like, I am pulling, like, it does not deserve to be on that television. I pulled it onto my little phone, put in my AirPods, and like forced myself to finish that thing. Holy shit, man. Like, I don't know what I did to you. I understand it made you watch Last of Us and you really didn't want to watch Last of Us. I feel like the the retaliation that you put on me was not equal to what I gave you.
No,
That's
not
my
at all.
piece.
No,
That's my piece.
that's fair. I am the villain of this story. Absolutely.
I tweeted as much. You finally saw the tweet
That was
yesterday.
really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I will say, in my defense, I was very clear that if you make me watch The Last of Us, I will retaliate in kind.
I thought you were going to make me watch like 12 hours of anime, which I would have rather done than watch this movie.
Maybe that's my strategy. Maybe I start you out with
goodness.
the worst piece of content
And then
that has
work me-
ever been
yeah.
made. And now you'll slowly come around to liking what I like.
I'm not going to lie. Like, there was a point when I'm like, oh, yeah? I'm like looking at like worst movies ever made. Like, I was like, okay, we're going to. And then you were like, oh, do you want to go to war? And I'm like,
Tyler, I'm
no,
ready.
I know you
There's
are.
An
I'm like,
arsenal.
no.
There's an arsenal I have ready to go.
I can't handle that.
We'll go into video games next. Dude, it'll be bad for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I really did not want to watch The Last of Us because I am so incredibly sick of that franchise. And because I was like even looking at OpenCritic the other day, and The Last of Us for last year, it was like the 2022 Hall of Fame.
Right.
Last of Us Part 1 was on that list. And I was like, how the fuck? This game came out like 8 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
And it was like the fourth release. It's like, I guess they redid the textures again or whatever.
I mean, they did make it like it was like a significant upgrade.
Yeah.
But not like it's not a remake.
No.
So, yeah.
I don't know, man. I just get really well, here's the thing too. If that was the first time they re-released it, I would have been like, "Oh, that's dope." They like it's now modernized, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, this is like the fourth one. Like we are encroaching Skyrim territory at this point.
Is it the fourth one? It's not the fourth time they remastered.
It's got to be at least 3.
Oh, it's definitely 3. Because they had it on the PS3.
Yep.
Then they remastered it to 60 frames on PS4, which is when I first played it.
Okay.
Or at least I should say I finished it. And then they just came out with this. I guess they do. Do they call it? They don't call it a remake. They just call it Part 1, I guess.
Yeah, I think they
Try
just
to like bridge
add
the
part 1. Yeah.
make it the continuous thing. Yeah.
But didn't they like release it on PC and?
Well,
I mean?
actually, no. It just got delayed. I think like another 3 weeks. So it's technically not out on PC yet.
No, but isn't there another version on PC?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, third time they released it. I just hate it. I'm so sick of it. Also, still salty about the second game. I just hate the second game so much. So I don't know, man. I'm just salty. So I didn't want to watch the series.
Yes.
And then I heard the series was good. I was like, uh-oh. But I was like, it just stuck my head in the sand. I was like, nah, I'm still not going to watch it. I'm just going to stick true. And then Tyler is like, oh, I have an opportunity to force John to watch something he has clearly indicated to me that he doesn't want to watch. Done. I was like, fuck you. Here's the worst movie ever made.
Again, I get it. I understand where you came from.
Saying, man.
All right, well, what'd you think of it?
Yes, am I petty? Yes.
Yeah.
But we knew this going in.
Yeah, I know.
This was a known quantity.
It's my fault.
Yes, it's your fault.
I get it. What did you think of
I'm the
Last
villain.
of Us?
It was good. So it was very good. I was telling Tyler about this when we were playing video games the other day because we're a video game podcast, and I was telling him, in the first like couple minutes, you can just tell that it's going to be a quality show, and I feel like that extends to like all sorts of things, like a game, a movie, a TV show, whatever the case may be. And I couldn't place my finger on why I felt that way. I think it was like the cinematography, like how it was shot.
Yeah.
I could just tell like, man, this is going to be pretty good. So I also learned that I think the same guy who shot Chernobyl. And everyone knows I love my IMDb rankings. That's a top 10 TV show.
Well, there you go.
On there, according to the audience.
Yeah.
So they got some good people working on that show. Anyways, so a couple changes they made to the show versus the game, but I didn't really mind them. The third episode we'll talk about that, but
yeah. So the opening,
the opening was fantastic,
almost shot for shot.
Yeah,
with the game, but with a lead up and like basically a thing setting the entire game, which I thought was brilliant personally.
Yeah, so the intro where they kind of explain what the virus is, and I don't remember in the game if they
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
they
think
did.
they changed kind of what it was. Yeah.
I really like that.
Mhm.
Really like that. That was cool. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
You can like wrap your head around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like totally makes sense. Probably not true, but I could see that, right?
Sure.
Anyways, the first episode is fantastic in the lead up to it. It's just like they do such an incredible job of just feeling this sense of impending doom and panic. And actually, when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, dude, like, I don't know, like this is horrifying, and I could see this happening not for like a zombie outbreak, but for like, I don't know, an invasion or something.
Any
like
type of like small like town or whatever. Like I could see just a bunch of people streaming into the street. I mean, we grew up in Bellevue, and I could just see like Lincoln Avenue just again, small, like always quiet, a few people here and there, whatever. But like if something crazy was happening and just everyone's just running and explosions are happening behind and like fires everywhere and people are screaming and attacking each other. Like they did, it was weird because it was like a plane literally falls behind them. And that might have been the most weirdly realistic. I was like, oh, like it was just like you could almost like feel it, like just like the impact of it and just how like everyone reacted to it and stuff. I think that was the thing where a lot of the time on CGI, a lot of people like they'll either overact or react. Like you don't really know. It's just like, okay, there's a green screen here and there's gonna be a giant explosion.
You can't relate to it.
Yeah, but the way that they just composed the shot and how everyone was acting in the moment, it was just like complete chaos.
Right.
And it was so well done.
Yeah, I could definitely like put myself in that situation. Like I was feeling anxious and nervous watching
you know
it.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like so well done. Actually, what got me is when she was like going to take a nap. Joel goes to get his brother or whatever from jail. And then like all the helicopters and stuff.
Yeah.
And the flares. I was just like, I don't know, man. It was just like perfectly. It actually gave me vibes of like Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
When the Russians invade, there's something about like the flares. You know what I mean? Like when DC's lit up and just flares because like it's just totally fucked and it's just chaos.
Yep.
I don't know, man. There's something about that shot, maybe that lighting, that's just like, oh, this is a disaster.
I mean, you have this diamond of like it starts, when she wakes up and everything, and it's like this and this is very close to the game. But they do such a good job where it's very, very intimate, right? And it's just like, it's just you, your neighbors, kind of what's happening.
Right.
And it just slowly escalates and escalates and escalates. And it just, it gets like insane and crazy and everything. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And you think that top part is like the main threat. And to some extent it is.
Right.
But then they like get away. And then it's like, oh, and then, well, I'm not going to, most people know what happens. But like Chelsea was watching it, didn't know what was going to happen. So she was sitting there and I'm just like, mostly look like kind of like stealing glances over at her, like, oh, what you gonna? And Chelsea was like, oh, like, just like she was expecting something like very TV-esque, where it's like, oh, they take her daughter, and like that's the show. Is he's gonna try to get his daughter back or something? It's like, no, like it's worse. Yeah, and then it's just this. They don't rest on that. They just keep hitting you with like, if you think that's bleak, it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's just like they really do, in a matter of an hour, just completely make you depressed. And they bring you to Joel's level. Yeah. In a very convincing way, I think.
Yeah, I know. And you really get that sense of it when Joel shows up again in his truck, right? Where like the acting is just phenomenal. Yep. And he just like get in the fucking truck, shoots the neighbor, runs over another neighbor. Yep. It's like, no, this is like, it's, I don't know. It's just conveyed so well. Like this is, and it's Code Red.
It's good to see him because he was kind of always like, where it's like, we're not stopping. Like, no, like this is it. And it's not like he was all like this super happy guy. And then, his daughter gets killed. Spoilers. Sorry. And then he like flips a switch. It's like, you see him get more gruff and more detached and stuff. But it's believable. Right. Like, because he was kind of that way already. Right. And I just think, I mean, they got some great actors, man. I was very, very happy with everyone they pulled.
Yeah. So, the intro was fantastic. And then they transitioned to the post-apocalyptic version. And they do a great job of setting Joel's character initially, right? Like, he's just fucking, like, the first shot is him throwing a little girl into a fire. Yep. a dead little girl.
Yeah.
It's like
I thought it was whatever, but yes, a kid.
I thought it was well, it doesn't matter, a kid. Yeah. So and he's not phased by it, right?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I think that's like a good, like, summarize Joel's mental state in one scene. There you go. Right.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, and I was telling Tyler this as well. Like I haven't played the game in so long that I really forget like what the game is. Like I know the basic understanding of like how the game navigates, but I just don't remember like the details of it. So I can't remember what they change or not. So it's like I have to go look that up.
Yeah.
So
well, that was definitely something. Like with the whole like the zombie creatures can like feel each other underground and stuff like that. That's all added.
Right.
Which was interesting. And then real quick on the episode 2, again, I think it's really good. I think because I personally love Ellie. I mean, I know you said like it's like, oh, like she's good, but it's
So I'm not as high on her as you. I do understand where you're coming from. I think her mannerisms are very on point.
Yeah.
Like how she speaks and things like that. Although again, I haven't played the game in a long time, so like I especially the first one, right? Like I'm more thinking the second one, which she's older, and so I'm having a tough time like remembering exactly what she was like. But I think the mannerisms are on point.
For me, it's like she does such a good job in those 2 episodes to be super sarcastic and like very, very like tough.
Yeah.
And to some extent she is, but when shit hits the fan and she's actually faced with like real world, like, hey, you almost died, or hey, like things happen.
Yeah.
And then seeing her like just being like just in shock.
Yeah.
It was believable. Like that's the thing. Throughout the entire thing, it's believable.
Right.
The only thing that I have, and it's a very video game thing, is they're like, we have to go through the museum. And it's like, or just walk around the building. But it's like they do a good job of like kind of like plastering up like, oh, look, there's like cars and concrete where it's like, I guess you have to go through a museum.
Yeah.
It's like, that's very video gamey.
That's very,
it works there. I don't know how well it works in TV. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you just walk 300 yards down that way, you're fine.
Probably. But it's nothing that takes you super out of it, I guess. At least for me,
because they do a good job showing how like, they can communicate through distance.
Yeah.
So like you could do it the long way, but then you run the risk of it and stuff. Like it was well done. I liked it.
I agree. And episode 2 is solid as well. I mean, that's
all I wanted you to watch.
Yeah.
But then episode 3 came out.
Yeah, so episode 3 was a curveball. I did not expect that. Tyler was like really excited for me to watch it, and I was like, okay, something crazy must happen.
Yeah.
Not what I expected at all. It was
in the game, it's like, hey, we need a truck. Like we need to get a battery, and it's like the missions, all that.
Yeah.
And in this, it's like, no, here's a love story between Bill and Frank.
Yeah.
And it's just like, here's what happened. Now, obviously, Bill survived in the game, right?
Yes.
So like you interact with him a little bit more and do everything there
right.
and whatnot. And I had to actually go back and look it up because I didn't remember. Because the first thing I looked up is like, was Bill gay? Like, did I just miss that? I did some digging on like the kind of the backstory of that, and he wasn't originally written gay. And that was during the table read. It was just that kind of like morphed itself from like Frank being his like best friend to like, oh, hey, he's my boyfriend or whatever.
Okay.
So that was kind of like that. And like, there's like a letter and he like tears up in the game. So it's like, it's implied, but it's not like it's not the TV show.
Right. Okay.
So the thing that I applaud, the TV show doing it is like, okay, we could say like, hey, Joel and Ellie, let's have another like tension-filled museum-esque thing where like everyone's trying to chase you or whatever and like get the battery to get to the car or whatever.
Right.
Or just like do this flashback, do kind of like here's this very intimate, like small world example of how these people handled the apocalypse, basically. I thought it was, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Like, I thought it was, it was well done.
I was very surprised at the direction they took and confused at first.
Yeah.
But I can definitely understand where you're coming from. like you said, you don't want it to feel like a video game when you're doing a TV show, right? Because since you're not directly interacting with it, another level, quote unquote, would be kind of boring, right? That would
Exactly.
be boring. So yeah, that's a very clever device to use, like a throwaway line or a throwaway scene in the game to kind of expand on some of the characters there. So I did think it was very creative and unique. The acting was incredible too. I mean, Ron Swanson's my boy. So it was really funny actually. The Parks and Rec YouTube came out with a video a couple of days ago, and it's called like The Last Stand for Ron Swanson or something with the Last of Us font. They were totally just like clickbaiting. It was so funny.
Right.
But have you seen Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the one episode where he like goes away and just lives in the wilderness. So he's got the beard and everything.
Sure.
So he looked like the character.
Bill,
like Bill. So it was funny. Anyways.
There's a whole bunch of them where like one guy's like crying. He's like, Joel needs a car, so let's just write the most heartbreaking episode on television.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. Where it's like, I mean, you're not wrong. Like it was, I thought it was very, very good.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was good.
Yeah. And again, Joel and Ellie come in at the very end and do like this thing, and like that small interaction, they must have had 5 minutes, 10 minutes of airtime together on that one episode where the majority of it was, Bill and Frank in like a flashback.
Right.
But even that, it was like in those 10 minutes, you have Ellie obeying Joel and like staying where she was supposed to be. And like, like she had a comedic, like as she was reading the note and she was like, ha, 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 whatever. Like, it was just really well acted and well done. And then they still had this bridge thing of like, oh, you've never been in a car before. And like, you still get this bonding over like five to 7 minutes of time. And it still progressed their story, even though the majority of that episode had nothing to do with them. And I just thought it was really, really well written.
Well, that's going to be the challenge, right? Because in the game, you have so much time to build that chemistry and that relationship between Joel and Ellie. And you're just going to have to be really efficient in the TV show.
Yep.
But like to your point, I think they are doing a very good job. And I think that, a lot of it is the acting.
Yeah.
Although the writing's, good too. But I think, a lot of it is the acting where it's just they have a really, I just think it was really well casted.
Every single thing so far has been believable. Up to the point of the zombies. Like literally like like I will say that those are the most convincing, like actually scary, like, oh no, that's straight up the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, great adaptation, and
now,
if it keeps this up,
are you going to watch it? Are you going to still?
Oh yeah, that is a fantastic.
I'm not going to burn any more hours on it,
right?
But
I don't know. I haven't decided because part of me thinks I need to be true to myself and say fuck this franchise, but the other part of me is like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll see. I might catch myself taking a little peek.
It's good when Chelsea's actually the one that's like, hey, it's Sunday. We're going to watch The Last of Us. And it's like, oh, right. And it's like, I would have forgot or whatever. And she's like ready to go.
Yeah. It kind of makes me want to watch Chernobyl.
Yeah.
It's top 10.
It's top 10.
I'm actually very curious to see where The Last of Us is on IMDb right now. But no, I mean, I don't know. I might keep watching. I might give it a little glance.
So the next question is, what is next for us?
Okay, so I guess something that we should probably talk about is this going to be a weekly thing?
Well, that's the thing is, am I just going to be giving you like, hey man, watch the first 2 episodes of this show?
I know.
Watch the first 2 episodes of this
That's
show.
the problem. You can't, I'm not going to be able to have 10 shows at once.
I know.
Keep watching it.
Just slowly wear you down.
Oh, wow. 9.2 on IMDb. Where does that rank in terms of TV shows? Sorry, I am
no.
Just
it's really
really curious.
What would you rank The Last of Us so far? Based off of those 3 episodes you've seen.
I give it an 8.8.
I think I give it a 9.
A 9 solid?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a rookie score, but that's okay.
That's all right.
It's good. I think it's very solid. I think it's a solid show. Is
Yeah.
it Breaking Bad? Not yet.
Well, okay. It did get picked up for a 2nd season already.
That is wild. I know the numbers are going crazy on that, so it's, that definitely makes sense.
I mean, it's look, we talked about Last of Us for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Freddy Got Fingered got 5 minutes about just how.
I mean, there's not much to say. It's just awful. And I encourage
10 minutes
listening.
in when he stops and jerks a horse off.
Yeah. That's
And
when
I
you
was
know
like,
you're watching art.
Well, that's when I texted you. I was like, we're in trouble. Yeah.
It's not on the top 250 list, probably because it's not
finished yet.
It's not finished. Yeah. But if it were to be, it would be somewhere in the top 15 range above Rick and Morty.
Wow.
Rick and Morty's a 9.1.
Do we know how many episodes they're going to have? Is it 8?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
they're going to do 8 hour-long episodes?
I honestly don't know.
At that point, it's a mini-series.
It should be.
Yeah.
That's what worries me is like, okay, are they going to finish it in season 1? Or are they going to like leave it open and do like, you know what I mean? Like,
finish what?
Are they going to finish the game? Like, the game. Yeah. Like I think they need to. Personally.
Oh, interesting. Well, if you do 8 episodes, you probably can get there. I would imagine
the rate that they're going. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're moving.
It's not a long game. Like, I mean,
no, a lot of it's killing zombies.
Yeah. Like the reason it's long is because you're cowering behind stuff. So.
Right. Exactly. And
there's only so much of that you can do.
Yeah. No.
How good was the one biologist that comes in? They bring her in and they're like, "How do we fix this?" And she's like, "Bomb everything. Kill us all."
You talk about realism. I don't think anyone would ever say that, but
maybe it was convincing as heck.
No, but
it
was a great scene though. It was very dramatic, and she's like, "I'd like to go home now because we're all fucked."
Yep.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And there was titties.
What?
When she was examining the dead person.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
But in a weird, okay.
Oh well, yeah. It was a
corpse. So it was just like a very nonchalant, like, just realistic.
It's very mature. Like,
yeah.
Hey, this is medical.
Yep.
There's a dead person. Great acting from the body too. Yeah. I mean, didn't move.
Didn't flinch when she was cutting into it and everything. Yeah.
Well, okay. Chernobyl 6. Chernobyl is 5. Actually, I misread that.
5 best.
5th best show of all time according to IMDb.
And it's
audience.
I assume it's done now, right? When did it come
it's
out?
5 episodes. 2019. It's a miniseries, so there's probably hour-long episodes. I really want to watch it now.
I'd watch that. I'm sure Chelsea would.
Anyways. Yep, cool. Good show. So, is it going to be a weekly thing, or is it just whenever we feel like it? You know what I mean? So that's kind of the question I'm posing.
So you're saying you want to wait a week?
No, I'm not saying. I don't know what I'm going to give you. I'm going to have to think of it on the spot, which is no problem because I have things I...
Or we could text each other and then we'll just come to it.
Well, it's not as exciting.
That's fair.
You know how many people, when I said Freddy Got Fingered, just anyone who watched it was like, oh no. Oh dear. What did he just make this guy do?
How do you feel about Andor? Have you seen anything about Andor?
Andor?
I know you hate Star Wars.
Dude, are you seriously going to do this to me again?
I don't want to do it to you again.
I've heard it's good from you.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Tyler.
I'm not. No. I don't want to get screwed 2 weeks in a row.
No,
I'm not.
Do it. No, please do it. Make me watch the whole series, Tyler.
Although the whole series is out. I need to do a little research on Andor because while I like the first episode a lot, yeah. I need to see how many hours it takes for it to be like really clicking. Good. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah. Like old Fantasia.
I love Fantasia.
Yeah.
I'd watch Fantasia.
They did a new one, right?
No.
Maybe. I thought it was like Fantasia
2020
remastered. Yeah, I don't know.
Fantasia 2000 is one of my favorites, man. That was so good.
Yeah, so that's the sequel, right?
Yeah. That's not the original.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm talking about the original.
Did they do a new one? Oh yeah, 23 years ago.
I'm sorry. That's the new one.
A quarter century ago.
Did it actually come out in 2000 though?
I think so. Yeah, it's Fantasia 2000.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I was 4.
Oh my god, I hate myself. Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
That's how time works, Tyler. You're not going to beat time.
Yeah.
So what were you think? Were you Andor would be the one you?
Honestly, if I'm being truthful,
here's the thing too. If you're worried about piling too many TV shows, you can do a movie.
Yeah, but
you can do a movie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what. Man Who Knew Too Little, Bill Murray. We've talked about before.
Man, really?
Yeah.
Bill Murray?
It's on Plex.
It's
probably 90 minutes.
How long is it?
Probably 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Probably. I don't know. I can find out right now.
Okay. So, well, I don't have to be equal to you. I mean, you gave me way more hours than I gave you.
Yeah. Thank God. If Freddy Got Fingered was more than 90 minutes.
Do you have a lot of games on Steam?
Yeah.
Do you know if you have the Henry Stickmin collection?
No, I have it on my wish list because it's on sale all the time.
How much is it?
It's so 1 hour 34 minutes for Man Who Knew Too Little.
Man Who Knew Too Little. So 1 hour and 30.
How much is the
down.
Henry Stickmin collection?
Yeah.
Taking away the $4 that I just paid for Freddy Got Fingered.
Well, this is the problem too. I don't want to keep making you pay for shit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Let me see. Henry Stickmin collection. It's good pod. $15.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it for like $5.
Yeah, I'll wait till that goes on sale. So I'll just match you with a movie.
All right, hit me.
I would like you to watch Seven.
Yeah, I feel like I've already committed to that though.
Yeah, but
is that okay to bleed that in?
Yeah,
I'm not cheating you.
No,
all right,
because I've already committed, quote unquote, to watching whatever the fuck you're having me watch.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow, peak. Yeah.
I'll watch 7. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll watch 7. We'll just do movie for movie. I don't know how long that one is. That one's so good. It's in my top 5.
Chelsea wanted to watch it, so we'll watch it.
It's very good.
Okay,
it's great.
Cool.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman. Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
yeah. It's a it's so good.
Pre Kevin Spacey.
Might be a top 10 villain in that movie.
He makes a good villain.
Might be a top 10er. Yeah, he does make a good villain, and in real life too.
Turns out
he wasn't acting too much.
Yikes.
Well,
we'll find out. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Oh, well, he's not like, well, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What else we got going on? So I feel like there was one other thing. Was there one other thing we had to talk about before jumping into the review?
DC.
That's right.
Universe.
Yeah.
DC Cinematic Universe. DC.
I'm worried about talking about this with you.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because you always tell me how I just
we don't agree on it.
Yeah, we don't agree on anything. All right, hit me.
Fine.
What do you feel about the DC?
So
you,
I do want to say that James Gunn came out with a video. It was like 5 minutes long and kind of just talked through their plans because he's in charge of DC now.
Yeah, he was like, I'm CEO.
Yeah, he's the guy now. So anything entertainment-wise comes out of DC goes through him out of nowhere. I think
weird,
DC just got desperate. They're just like, we want to win. This guy makes good stuff. Let's pay him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they're paying this guy?
I would assume quite a bit.
Probably more than us.
Yeah.
Anyways, James Gunn comes out 5 minutes and he just goes through a list of what they're planning for the DC universe.
Yeah.
Which is like, I guess, a rebooting. And it's super hilarious because he starts out the video with what's already scheduled, like the Shazam movie and Blue Beetle and stuff. He's like, yeah, they're coming out soon, and I'm totally excited about that. Now, here's what I got planned.
Yeah, this is actually the real start.
Yeah. He just sweeps it under the rug. He's like, I had to release these, and here's the real start. So I thought that was funny. But
he's like, it works because they're kind of in their own thing anyway.
They're shit anyways. No one will remember them.
Shazam's been doing his own thing.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah. So anyways, I kind of wanted to break this up in the movies he announced and then the TV shows.
Okay.
It was just movies and TV shows. So overall, I'm a huge DC guy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge DC guy, but I like DC. Definitely more than Marvel. Like,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely more than Marvel. Not that I dislike Marvel, but I don't know. It's probably like the animated shows that I just always like those characters more.
I would agree with you. The problem is I don't know. I feel like I liked Batman and I liked Spider-Man, and those were the two that I was into.
I know.
So it's kind of like a 50-50.
You just care about two
Batman.
characters.
Well, I care about Batman,
but I like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I mean, I like all of them.
Right.
Anyways, so he announces all these movies, and I'm not going in order because this website doesn't have them in order, but whatever. So Superman,
mm-hmm.
There's going to be a movie, a new Superman. It's not Henry Cavill.
Right.
And I guess from his video, he said this is like kind of considered the start of the universe or whatever, how they're doing it, which is hilarious that they have to copy Marvel. But
explain this to me, and I don't want to jump ahead.
No, go for
but
it.
he was talking about Gal Gadot saying like, "Oh, she's interested." They didn't announce any Wonder Woman stuff, but it was like
in the video.
Yeah. So they talked about her. They talked about Aquaman 2.
Right.
And again, I'm sorry for jumping ahead.
No, you're good.
But like, if you're pulling Jason Momoa in and you're pulling Gal Gadot in, and for all intents and purposes, like Henry Cavill seemed to be like on board.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't think he's going to do the other two.
You don't think Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot's coming?
I mean, he's going to do Aquaman 2, but
that's part of the new series.
Isn't that already announced, though?
I thought... I'd have to watch the movie again. I'm pretty sure he mentioned it after it was like, this is the new start, and then they talked.
I don't think so, because my impression of it was that he wants young actors who are literally just going to commit to this. And Henry Cavill's got a ton of, he's pretty popular, so... Like he's doing the Warhammer stuff now.
Yeah, as in he would be the perfect fit for like the Papa Bear of the young Justice League or whatever. But
yeah, but I think he just wants to start fresh.
No, I agree with you. But then why? That was the thing that stuck out to me.
Well, that's why I don't think he's going to keep the other ones.
And you might be right. I when he was saying it, I read it, or like, I should say, listened to it as they're coming back, and I was like, that's really weird because they were talking about like Flash too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they canceled that movie.
I thought so as well.
Yeah,
I think it's a different... Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, there is a Flash movie coming out.
Yeah, and then what's his face got just...
Yeah.
Went off a deep end.
I don't know.
Flash himself off the map, man.
He is in the Speedverse. But...
it was... Let me put it this way. It was gray and smudgy. Like what's happening when and that sort of thing. So that was
the Superman movie is the only one that has a date. 2025
or July 11th,
2025.
Yeah.
And anyways, so about the Superman movie, I'm interested to see who they cast.
Yep.
I thought Henry Cavill was a great Superman.
Yes.
But like I understand if he wants to come from the perspective of like, okay, I see this being a 10-year project and I need a young guy that can grow with me. Into this project. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There are so few people that I believe like Henry Cavill was a different caliber.
Oh yeah.
Where like you got Brandon Ruth to come in, Ruth. I think it's Ruth.
Yep.
And he was just like he kind of was like a discount Reeves, right?
Christopher Reeves, yeah. Okay.
It's like a discount version of him. Like it worked, but like still kind of weird. And then whoever they have playing on the TV show, I just don't see him as Superman.
Right.
He's fine. Like he's a good actor and everything. Like it's okay. It's just like, that just seems unbelievable.
Who did Smallville?
I can definitely see him doing it. Tom Welling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's too old.
Yeah.
He might be older than, actually, I'm going to look that up while you go ahead and keep talking.
Okay. So here's the interesting thing. When he was talking about this movie, they showed a picture of All-Star Superman. And I don't know if you're familiar with that comic.
I'm not, no.
It's probably regarded as one of the best Superman comics, but in that comic, Superman's like dying.
Oh.
So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that'd be stupid in my opinion if you're opening up with a dying Superman. You know what I mean?
So here's something real quick. Tom Welling, 45. Henry Cavill's 39.
Wow.
That's Tom Welling. I don't know if you... But
yeah.
Anyway, Tom Welling's very good. So, but if this is like a new, younger Superman or whatever, wouldn't that be like...
Maybe they just showed the artwork for that. I don't know. It feels like they showed a panel, or I think that was the cover of that comic. That feels super intentional. Or maybe they're just showing a picture of Superman. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, that is super weird. But they were like saying, I don't know, people were speculating, it's not going to be another origin story or whatever, because that's not what people want to see, because, we've seen all that too much. So
there's only so many pearls that can drop to the alleyway of
Jesus.
Gotham
True,
City.
True. Well, they didn't mention Batman at all, did they?
They did. So. Brave and the Bold, or
yeah, they did. That's right. Brave and the Bold. Well, that's an interesting one too. So excited about Superman. I love Superman. Superman's so tough to do though.
Yeah.
In today's day and age as well, where everything's dark and mysterious.
Especially when you're doing a Thanos, like, because you would have to, right? Like, that's how you bridge all the movies together and do everything. It's going to be years in the making.
Right.
I get it, but it's like, if you read the room and you see how people are already fatigued from the Marvel side of things,
right?
Why are you trying to play catch up 10 years later? Like, you know what we should do? We should do what Marvel did.
Yeah, DC's doomed. Their best opportunity was the end of Endgame. After that, when there was that gap,
a little lull, yeah,
because everyone was like, "That was awesome! Superheroes are the best," and people were craving stuff, but there was like this gap, in entertainment, and now we just got flooded with shit from Marvel.
Is Black Adam anywhere in this new DCU? Was that mentioned at all?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Dude, I think he's scrapping most of it. I wish he just scrapped everything and just started fresh. I don't know why he's cherry picking.
He's cherry picking, but he's also, and I forget if you already said this, but like, you're bridging everything together. It's one universe. So movies, television, and video games are all one universe.
But the interesting thing about this is anything that's not in his universe is labeled as multiverse or whatever.
Yeah, like other verse?
Other something.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I like knowing what's canonical.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's what I love about the MCU. And a problem I personally think with comic books is there's so many different storylines that you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Whereas the MCU is just the MCU, and it's all
but
one
how
thing.
do you feel about that, where it's like, if you want the full picture, now you have to go, and Marvel started doing this after the fact, but like, you have to watch the TV shows, you have to watch all the movies, you have to see how they all interact together.
Right.
And I get the, like, business-wise why that works. But like, whenever the DC was doing like the Flashpoint or whatever they did, where they brought in like Arrow and Superman and Supergirl and Batgirl and Batwoman or whatever, and brought them everything together, that was a chore. Like, I didn't want to watch any of that, because it was like, oh, I'm watching Arrow, and then it goes from one episode to like, I have no clue what's going on by the end of the second episode, because like 12 other shows fit in that 1 week gap or whatever. Yeah, I can't imagine that.
You run into one of two problems. Either there's too much to watch and people don't want to do it, or it's so inconsequential that nobody cares anyways.
Exactly.
So it's like,
how do you skate that? I mean, hey, maybe they will. Who knows?
James Gunn's pretty good. I don't know. I'm very curious too as well.
One other thing that I had that I have a severe worry on is when he was like, yeah, we want to get the actors in the movies to be the voices in the video games and stuff. And it's like, that. Do you not remember Destiny? Do you not remember Peter Dinklage just walking in and getting completely just memed the heck out of there, and then having to bring in Nolan North and redo everything?
Yep.
I'm not saying that's every actor, but the voice acting and acting are very different things. Like, I'm not saying you can't do both, but like, just to assume, like, are they truly looking for that when they're picking like who's going to be our Man of Steel? Now they have to worry about, can he do the voices in all the video games too? Like,
yeah. No, I think it's ambitious. Probably
why would you say that? I think it's my thing. Like, why would you say that? You know, the last time they said that,
they want continuity. I understand, like the idea, but
the last time I can remember them saying that is when they were all gung ho about, when they reboot Tomb Raider, and they're like, this Lara Croft, she's a great actress. She's going to be Tomb Raider in the video game, blah, 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 in the movie. No.
Nope.
It did not happen.
Got a little ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
They didn't set out to do that. It just happened naturally. And
yeah, I mean, I would assume like when they're like, oh no, this worked.
Right. And
it's like what turned from a cameo to like, oh.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then they found it, upon the way. But like, this is just going to be artificial no matter what, because he has 10 years mapped out already.
Yep.
That's just manufactured. It's never going to hit the same.
It's 10 years, and it's like, here's Superman, here's Batman, here's Swamp Thing,
I love Swamp Thing.
Here's the Frankenstein's monster.
You get to like the authority.
Yeah, like, okay.
But if anyone's good at that, it's James Gunn.
I will say, the Suicide Squad stuff, while I didn't think it was the best piece of cinema,
It's fun.
It was fun. And
Peacemaker?
Boy, did I enjoy Peacemaker. Have you watched Peacemaker?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Gotta write that down. That might be.
Oh my God. You're just going to give me all TV shows.
That's all I watch, dude. I don't watch movies.
Movies are great.
I can give you some older movies. Anyway, but yeah, okay, so we're kind of on the same page then. I thought you were going to be like, I love everything he's doing. And it's like, hey, man, I have some reservations. I don't know about this. Like,
oh, no, I think it's way too ambitious, but I am hopeful that it works out somehow.
I'm excited to see what they'll do. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to comprehend a world where it's like, if push came to shove, will they do the right thing and make, well, rest in peace, legend, but like, would they make another Arkham game with James Gunn's universe? Meaning, if Rocksteady came to them, let's say it's the first time, hey, we want to make a Arkham game, it's our own universe, here's everything we want to do with it and everything. Are they going to greenlight that? Or are they going to be like, no, you have to bring it in here. We need to boost our movie sales by promoting XYZ and that stuff. Who knows? But it's like, I feel like video game tie-ins to movies are just, this is going to be bad. Like, if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, fantastic freaking game, but it had to slowly pick up momentum and get awards and game of the, like story game of the year or whatever it is, for people to even take a look at it, and then get on Game Pass for people to take a look at it, where most people just wrote it off as like, oh, it's like a story tie-in, just like the Marvel Avengers BS game that came out.
Yeah, any movie game sucks. I don't think there's a good one.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So then, are they going to do the right, quote unquote, right thing and let people make their own games? Or if sales are soft, are they going to force people to be like, yeah, you can make a Batman game, but it needs to tie into what we just made here?
I see what you're saying. I think initially right now they're happy to have people create their own things because like I said, they're going to stamp it with the other universe stamp or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Otherworld, I think it's called, or something.
I thought it was we'll have to look.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, if they get desperate and they need some attention, you're right. I mean, that's always the fear. Especially when you give complete control to one person, right?
Yep.
It's like if he wants to save his job, he will smack Rocksteady around and make them.
How much will you adapt? Like you plot out 10 years. Yeah. How many movies have to crush it? To work?
Yeah. And there's a lot of, they have the big hitters, but James Gunn loves these superhero teams that nobody knows. But he does good with them. But is it all going to be the same? Is it all going to be that comedy? Yeah. Is it going to feel the same? Right. Can you differentiate it? Like a ragtag group of people, and it's funny, and there's every type you need. I don't know. I just feel like you could fall into a rut there, where maybe 100%. James Gunn can only do that one thing, and then that's going to fall apart really quickly. But
I'm assuming the Batman is outside this. Was that confirmed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's its own thing. Thank God.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel like Robert Pattinson, probably is the age that they want. To rock this out.
I mean, we talked about this. I'm not on board.
No, it's the worst movie ever made.
Well, Freddy got fingered. It's pretty bad.
I said what I said. No, okay.
Wow, that's over the line.
I would watch the Batman back to back 3 times in a row.
Okay. I'm glad we're still on planet Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to go through these quickly though. So we got the Superman one. I'm always excited for that, especially. And this is something too that I wanted to, kind of say is that it seems like James Gunn seems like he's very passionate about this, and that he has an intimate knowledge with comic books, and the adaptation portion of it makes me very excited because there are established stories that are just so well done, right? Okay. So, like when they showed the All-Star Superman thing, it's like I don't know, that kind of made me happy that it's like I think they're aware of the kind of character they want to tell, like, the good pieces of content that are out there. But anyways, you mentioned the Authority, no idea about that. And that's like a recurring theme, right? Like all these groups that nobody knows. But the Brave and the Bold, like you mentioned as well, is interesting because that's Damian Wayne, right? So that's his son, which implies, I guess, an older Batman, theoretically.
Theoretically.
But also Red Hood and Nightwing.
Maybe.
Probably, if they're doing that storyline, right?
So I don't know the storyline itself.
I think they're all incorporated in that.
I mean, that would be,
or they're all.
That would be great. I think that's very hard to do.
What I'm saying is they would all have to be characters because Damian Wayne is Robin, which means Dick moved on to Nightwing, and Jason is either dead or
murdering people.
He's murdering people.
I think. Did you ever see the Umbrella Academy? Is that one you ever saw?
No.
Oh,
I know I know of it though.
But how dysfunctional they are and angry at each other and whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I see the Bat Family.
Yeah.
Like I actually could see them do it, and that would separate them from like the Suicide Squad comedy goofball stuff. It would be like everyone just takes themselves way too seriously.
Right.
And just everyone's jaded and hates everyone and everything. I could see that.
See, the problem you have
but
the problem you have with DC too is Batman and Superman, the two most popular characters, right?
Yeah.
And they're just diametrically opposite of each other. One is a dude in a cape, dark, fighting crime.
Yeah.
The other's a god, light, fighting crime.
Yeah. Right.
Fighting monsters and shit.
Yeah.
So that's really hard to incorporate that into the same, like you have such a different tone there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's always a really tough thing to
you've done
navigate.
This pendulum though, where it's like here's Batman being very fantastical with like Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
You have the Batman who is like, let's dive into our detective roots or whatever.
Right.
We need to like maybe we do need a Justice League. Maybe we do need something where it's like Batman and Superman aren't the focus.
Yeah.
And it's just like a more group thing. Look, I agree with you. If there's a group element, then let's see what Gunn can write. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, mentioned Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which I guess is based on a comic book.
Yeah, where she's all like, she was raised on like a chunk of Krypton and everyone dies and she's just miserable.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that storyline, but it's very highly praised, I guess. Yeah. So that's exciting too. Like that's what I was kind of saying. I like the fact that he's picking these really well done stories that are already established, because that's the one thing I always get. You know, you have these characters, you have these comics that are legendary.
Yeah.
And the material's all there, man. Like, I don't know. You don't have to do it shot for shot.
Fit together. That's the thing. Is like
where you need the creativity.
Yeah.
But it's there. I mean, you have the story. It's like if you make a shitty story, there's no excuse for that with these characters.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
So I don't know. Swamp Thing, like
a horror movie. Sure,
dude. Swamp Thing's great. I hope they do him justice. So I don't know. Swamp Thing's fantastic. And then they have the TV shows. So the Creature Commandos, no idea. Waller, which they're keeping the same.
That's what I mean.
Actor.
Well, so that makes sense because she was in there. I would assume Peacemaker stays.
Yes. Well, yeah, because that was him.
Right. So that
Amanda Waller is always great. Like if you remember, like the cartoons, she was like an integral part.
Viola Davis
to the whole,
is very good.
Yeah. So Booster Gold, which is fantastic.
That honestly, out of everything they announced, is what
most
I'm
excited.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Lanterns, which actually I really love the premise of that, where they're kind of like
cop thing or like a detective thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I guess they're gonna do Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Yeah,
which I don't remember ever seeing like a show or something with both of them. It's usually one or the other.
Yeah,
so that's awesome. And then Paradise Lost is Themyscira, so like Wonder Woman, like the Amazons.
Yeah,
and he was like saying Game of Thrones-esque. I was like, okay.
They got like
That's
here's the thing. It's a lot of cool ideas.
Yeah.
That like, how does that ladder up into one big?
Because you're gonna have all these different themes.
Yeah.
Which let's say you can pull that off.
Right.
To your point, as soon as you have the team up movie, what the heck is the theme here? What is the
because even the Marvel TV shows were still Marvel-ass Marvel shows.
Right. It's all like you can,
It might be more intimate. It might not be like galactic scale, whatever.
Right.
But it's still the Marvel humor, the Marvel characters, the wink and nods to other events and things like that.
Yep.
I don't know.
The formula is established there, and it's like
you either have to go all the way in with like Peacemaker esque.
Just make it ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way to go because I feel like DC has always been a little bit more fantastical. Is that a word?
Ish. Yeah.
Then Marvel seems more grounded, I guess.
I mean, it's a shame because I thought the Flash was my favorite character in the Zack Snyder cut. Like, I think the comedy and everything, I thought he was great.
Really?
And then it's just like, oh, okay. So take him out.
Interesting. I don't know.
To be fair, I think you bring the TV show Flash up and put him in the major leagues, baby.
Yeah.
Like pull him up,
Wow.
pull Emil up. What's his face from Arrow? Like, dude, they could do it.
What you should do is just dive 100% into animation and just do that because that's the only spot where they've ever been successful.
Even Harlequin, I'm just like, man, you should have cut it. You should have been like a 2-season
hitter.
You're done. Yeah, season 3.
They just want to be Marvel.
Yeah,
they want to.
Who wouldn't?
Well, exactly. I mean, they have all the money in the world.
They want to get bought by Disney too.
Yeah, I know. I feel you, but
they can't. That's the thing. Like, can you imagine that? As DC's like, oh, we wish we could get bought by Disney, but you can't because now it's a monopoly.
Yeah, no, you
like,
literally couldn't.
You couldn't.
Right. You imagine if that went through.
Oh my gosh, what else is there?
You'd have Superman fighting like.
I don't know, but
what else is what?
Like what? Who else is out there that could even?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, is it literally Disney versus DC?
I don't know.
Like that's a joke, right? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. But I don't. Yeah, we'll see. I'm
tentatively excited. I always am ready to see the next Batman.
I don't think I'll ever see a good DC cinematic universe. I don't think it'll ever exist. But
cinematic universe, I agree with you.
If it did, that'd be awesome.
The best DC stuff are standalone DC stuff. I don't even like the Joker, but I can at least say like, okay, that's a cool thing on its own. Arkham,
you're talking about like movies?
Yeah, like Arkham, a cool thing, a game on its own. Freaking Gotham, good on its own. But that's because they can build these things where it's like, this is our own little world. When you start having to pull into all these other things, it's just not good, man.
You have to be a Lego piece so that you can connect to something else.
Yep.
But then you sacrifice your own tone and.
I mean, Marvel kind of did it with like the Netflix shows. So like you have your Punisher and your Daredevil and things like that. And then they brought them in.
Right.
And they actually brought Daredevil in and made him a little bit more goofy for She-Hulk.
Well, you have to adjust, right?
It worked.
But
they did it in a way of like, hey, new costume. And you kind of like, it's the same guy. You like the guy. It gives you a little haha finally.
Yeah.
But also it's a different character.
At the end of the day, you're probably right. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm tentatively excited.
Yeah.
But that's all I had on that. I love DC, man.
Yeah.
I hope it works. Dude, I don't know. That'd be awesome.
I'm sure something will work. And if they're smart, they'll pivot.
Yeah, but like some things worked in the Snyder verse. Like Man of Steel was okay, and the Justice League cut was actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
That did not feel like 4 hours.
No, which is crazy.
Yep.
Because it was.
Yeah.
It was like I don't even remember why I watched it. I think people were saying, wow, it's actually good. And I was like dreading it. Because I'm like, and me and my buddy were watching it, and it was like, dude, this is going to be terrible. And I was like, wow. Because I watched the original.
Yep. We just watched the original and then watched the Snyder
amazing what you can do.
Yep.
Post what's it called? I don't know.
Was it the best superhero movie ever?
No.
But yeah, it's significantly better.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to? I don't even know if we can call it the main event. I feel like we stuck on DC for a while. But do you want to talk about Hi-Fi Rush? We talked about it last week a little bit.
I do want to talk about Hi-Fi Rush because I'm contractually obligated.
We both played it.
Yes.
We both finished it.
Yes.
About 8-hour game, 9-hour game.
Yeah, in that realm.
Yeah.
Probably less for you because you didn't get any of the bonus stuff. You just walked past it.
I'll tell you what, I bet you I have more recordings than you do. Watching how you played.
Graffiti?
No, you beat me on graffiti already.
Okay.
I bet you I have more of the other collectibles than you do.
What recordings?
Exactly.
Wait, what?
No, like all the little like collectible like data pads and stuff in the environment.
Oh yeah. Dude,
that's what
if you make me read, it's over. Yeah, I don't want to read.
Okay. So Hi-Fi Rush. Let's break this out. So just to recap from last week, on the 25th, Microsoft Bethesda did a studio or a developer direct, and the people that made Evil Within, Tango Gameworks, Tango Gameworks, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, they which I didn't know this is the term, shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush,
right,
and said, "Hey, we made this game. You can download it today," which is always fun and cool and exciting. And
I think we talked about their whatever it's called. What would you call that? Press conference?
Yeah, they're direct. They're press
they're
conference,
direct.
whatever.
I think we talked about it, but that's like the perfect structure, I would say,
Yes.
almost, right?
Yep.
Like up front, we're not talking about these games. Show your games, and then secret announcement at the end. Can play it today. Yeah. Right?
And the kicker is it's not even... So it's a $30 game if you don't have Game Pass. You can get it on Steam. Yep. It is Steam Deck compatible, so I got to try that out and play it whenever it goes on sale. But this game, it's an action rhythm game.
Yep.
A lot of people were saying like, oh, it looks like... do you remember the one where you're like surfing on like rails and stuff like that? I knew I was going to blank on the name of it.
Is it an older game?
It's an older game. It was Xbox exclusive. It'll come to me eventually, or the team will bring it up.
I thought Tony Hawk at first. Probably not the game you're thinking of.
It's kind of. I mean, it is Tony Hawk, but you're like shooting and stuff, and there are like zombies around. Man,
that's not Tony Hawk. I remember.
No, I know. But it's gonna bug me. But
okay.
Anyway, they were calling it this game,
right?
And it's not. It's very much. I would say it's very close to Devil May Cry in terms of just like running.
I was actually watching Digital Foundry's video that came out today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and that's what they said as well. So that was a good call out that you had.
So Digital Foundry actually put out
they said
a thing?
The closest, they put out a thing for Xbox and PC.
Oh,
a lot of the time, nice. Yeah, it was one video, and a lot of the time they just do the consoles, which I hate.
That's awesome.
For us PC people. But yeah, they did it for both and kind of talked about it. Was actually I recommend that video a lot because of the unique, and we'll get into this, the unique style of the game.
Yeah.
The unique art style.
So they got to break it down on like how they put it together and stuff. That's
which
cool.
Like some of the animations are actually lower frame rates to mimic like a 2D
like a cartoon.
animation, like a cartoon or something. Yep. I thought it was really cool how they kind of broke that down. But anyways, sorry to interrupt what you were saying.
No. So that's the closest thing I could think of because I was just playing Devil May Cry 5 and I'm like, this is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
The caveat is everything
Caviar
is everything is to a beat. So like your attacks and everything, it's all time.
It's a rhythm game.
Yeah.
Well, it's rhythm infused.
Yes.
Because in the main mechanics of the game, being on beat makes you stronger. It doesn't necessarily make or break. Like you don't lose if you're off the beat. Although in some points you do.
Yeah, I guess my thing was like you never feel punished in a rhythm game. So in a rhythm game, if you're playing like Guitar Hero, which is a rhythm game, and you mess up, you hear like broken screens or strings, and it sounds bad.
Right.
This game always sounds great, and if you're button mashing, you're still landing attacks based off of the beat and the sound. So it still looks and sounds great, which I think is awesome for people like me who typically shy away from rhythm games because it's just too much and I don't like it never feels good to me. But this game worked really well in the way that like, every movement you do as you're running and dodging and different things like that, it's all based off of the rhythm. You dodge, you hear a snare or a cymbal little thing or whatever.
A hi-hat.
Hi-hat, thank you. And just when you bash something with the guitar plays and stuff. Yep. And it's so well done. But I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on it. So to back up a little bit, the story itself, not a crazy like involved story. Basically, Chai, who is the main character, he has a busted arm.
Yeah,
which is just in a sling or whatever.
If his arm was just broken, that's very concerning that he's willing to lop it off for
so there's a robotics company that's like, hey, we'll give you a new limb, right? We're just doing this program. We're just giving robotic limbs out to people.
Right.
So he kind of weasels his way into the corporation and gets this new limb, but there was like an accident and his MP3 player gets like jammed into his body. And that's apparently how you just feel the beat
Yeah.
So when you get out of that, then it's just like the entire world around you, like visually and audibly. It just is like just and the nice thing is too is it's the same rhythm, like the same beat, the same speed throughout the entire game. So you really do by the end of it feel what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, that's the premise of the game.
That's the game,
and
and you find out, hey, the corporation's evil.
Oh, shocker. The story. If we're sticking to story right now, the story is kind of straightforward and simple, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think it does a fantastic job in the intricacies of how it tells the story. That makes it really well done, right? Like you don't need an overcomplicated story for it to be quality.
I mean, when we were comparing and contrasting God of War and Horizon, one of the key takeaways was, hey, the villains make or break like the interactions with the characters and stuff, and like a good villain helps the story, even if it's kind of a predictable overarching plot, right? It's just like, oh, you got to stop the corporation for XYZ. I will keep this spoiler free, I think, but it's like, okay, the corporation, you uncover something else, and then it's like you gotta stop the corp, big tech. But the villains are, I think, very good. I think all of them are distinct, unique, and have a good kind of presence about them. Like they're over the top, but the entire game is right. Like that's the whole point of it.
Well, yeah, it's comic book-esque.
Yeah,
and when you do something like that, you do need more defined, over the top, outlandish, recognizable characters, right? That's just kind of how it works. And the corp theme is fundamental throughout the entire story, and they do such a fantastic job of like the humor is related to that, and like because like every one of the bosses is a different department of the corporation. Like you have finance, you have marketing, you have R&D, security, and they incorporate, each level is incorporated to that person's department, and their identity is that, and the humor just lands so well because it's a lot of it's office humor that a lot of people can relate to, right? Like
your mileage may vary, because I think it is like if you do work in a corporate environment, I think a lot of that stuff hits home.
Oh, big time.
And it is like you mentioned the humor too. One of the things that you and I kind of were talking is like it is very self-aware, but oddly enough, it works, and it's not like a lot of games. The High on Life was the most recent one. It's like a Rick and Morty joint where it's like it breaks the fourth wall. It is like, hey, you gotta do this now, and it's just like it gets grating after a while, and it gets like, okay, you're being very cringe. Where this is like, it tells you what it is up front. It never crosses like a line or anything, and it's like he's a goofball, but he's still lovable. I'm talking about the main character, yeah. And then all the characters around him and like your party that you kind of like build up throughout the game, they all have distinct personalities, and they all kind of like support you. And there's never this like, I don't know, like it works. And I wish I could put my finger on it on exactly why it's good. And it probably just boils down to it's just good writing, good voice acting. But,
yeah, I think to me, it knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It knows exactly what it's trying to accomplish, exactly, what tone it wants to set. And it's that lighthearted. It almost feels like a kid's game to me. But I was talking to you about this. Anyone could play it, right? Yeah. There's no gore. There's no swearing.
Right.
There's no nothing like that.
Yeah.
Where a little kid could pick this up, play it, have a blast. But either of us had just as much fun. And I think it knows exactly what it's trying to do. Like I said, and an extension to that, with the story, the characters are so well done, where they feel very consistent. The performances were obviously great as well, which helps. But the dialogue, I think they just knew, what kind of characters they wanted to write. Like the group that you get, I think you really check like all the boxes that you want in that group, and they play off each other so well. Which really starts with the main character, Chai. I think he's really great because he's this kind of dumb, but like excited, energetic.
I'm glad that you said like, hey, he's me. And I was like, I wanted to say that, but I didn't want you to think I was like insulting your intelligence. But like, like his mentality, his just like constant, like, yep, I'll do this. No problem. Like it's never oh man, how can we possibly win? It's always like, let's keep moving forward. We got this. Like just
no
this constant,
calculating, no
full send. Let's do it.
He's just super excited,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just like, but he's not like super happy go lucky. Like makes you sick. It's such a good balance. So while you were talking about the villains are great, I think also the heroes are just as good. I loved everyone in the party. They each had a great piece of the team and worked together so well, just how they interacted with each other. And like you mentioned, I think the humor is just a huge part of this. I think it very self-aware, as you mentioned, but not too self-aware, if that makes sense. Not cringe. It strikes the perfect balance. And the jokes are just funny. Like I found myself laughing at a lot of the jokes. I was telling Tyler about this too. Like, so it's a robotics company, right? So all the workers are like robots. And there's something about like robots that act like humans that it's just like really funny in those situations where they do like the robot humor and stuff. And it kind of reminded me of like Portal kind of with some of the minion robots and stuff. I don't know. I just always think that stuff kind of lands.
Did you find the side quest?
Which side quest?
There's a side quest in the game.
And like while you're playing,
while you're playing it, there's just a robot that's like these damn pigeons, and you have to like shoot pigeons.
No, I did not find that.
Yeah, just randomly.
That's amazing.
Like if you talk to everybody like that, it just randomly popped up, and like I was like, how many other side quests have I missed?
Yeah,
never found another one.
Really?
It's just like some random thing.
That's so wild.
And it's just like they're not afraid to just
be goofy,
mess around, and just do it. And I think it was. I don't want to harp on it too much, but the characters were great. I think everyone has some sort of story arc. It might not be like the most revolutionary thing, and it might not be like groundbreaking in that regard. But I think there is growth there. I think the ending is very good. Like I think they do a really good job kind of bringing everything together and doing this crescendo. So narrative, story, characters, solid. Just like it supports everything. And then going back to the gameplay, I know we kind of touched on the overall action of like, okay, combat, you're in like an arena, and you're just, it's a lot of combos. You have a lot of combos. You can bring your characters in to help you out and different things like that. The one criticism I had here was there wasn't much variety in terms of like the battlegrounds, if you will. Yeah. Like there's maybe like two main ones. Like you have kind of like a arena, like a flat arena, and there's one where like sometimes the floor is electric. Right?
I would extend that to the environment as well. Like I know in the middle of the game, when you're in the security world, it's very similar to like, it's just like hallways, and it's not very inspired in my opinion. Whereas like there's a volcano level, for example, which is like, that was like one of the most interesting levels to me because it was very unique.
Right.
So I think at some points in the game, kind of the environment was a little bit bland, and you were kind of just fighting the same enemies, and I don't know, it felt a little bit repetitive there.
But that's all in the front. It seems like it starts kind of
opening up,
slow and samey and stuff. But then by the time you get like midway to the end, it's just like you're just jumping off a cliff and you're just doing it.
Yeah. So it's not, I don't know. I didn't detract a lot of points against that, but I did notice that. But to your point, I guess the arenas, the actual arenas that you're fighting in, kind of in a more micro sense, right? Like
and
the
I don't like the battles themselves, right? They do like the kind of a very Devil May Cry thing where it sections you off, and you have to beat all the people in there before it opens you up, and now you can go around the level and stuff.
But what I will say though is, for what it lacks in creativity there, I think it gives you so many ways to fight. I mean, there's a lot of combos, right? I mean, you really just start with a light and heavy attack. And then it just expands. It goes from there. I mean, eventually you get aerial combos, you get parries, you get a grappling hook, which Tyler loves, I'm sure.
Love the grappling hook, yeah.
Like he mentioned, you can call in teammates. You get like a couple of those. So, and then they get their own abilities, right? So I think it just compounds itself into, by the end of the game, I was like almost too many options I could do. I was like trying to remember my combos, and I could do this and that. And I felt like, I didn't feel like I ever had a limit there. Like I could really approach every fight in a unique way, which I really appreciate, that.
And they do a good job. It's very, I'm trying to think of like the closest thing is, I guess, like Destiny maybe, where like different enemy types have different like elements attached to them. So it's
different
like
weaknesses.
Yeah. So like, oh, this guy has an extra shield. Cool. I'm gonna bring in this one of your party members, Macaron, and it's like, okay, he's a big dude and just like bashes through shields and stuff. And I think that's interesting, and it does force you to kind of like mix it up.
Yep.
A lot of the time though, like when you're like fighting like bosses and stuff, I'm just jamming on like both triggers. I'm just like, I just send my entire party out to just like blast them at any given point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the fighting was still good. I think the boss fights were unique. All of them were unique. For better or worse, I think there was one, ironically, the one I watched you fight was maybe a little less inspired, or it was a little tougher to be like, oh, this is a quote unquote good fight, because you didn't really know what you were doing, I guess.
Yeah, that one wasn't telegraphed well, but I do think in general, the boss fights are very well, like, you recognize what the pattern is, how to beat them. There's one in particular that's just hilarious. And so Tyler knows exactly which one I'm talking about. So unique on how you beat him. I just love.
But they are all unique. Like at the very end, it's like, okay, you're pummeling someone. But before doing, like as you're doing it, or the stage, or how it evolves, is unique to each of them, and it fits so well that I think it's a masterclass in like, hey, make this distinct while still like it's still within the gameplay loop. Like you're not completely blowing.
Well, I mean, like, and they break up the repetitive nature of it. Like the one boss fight is totally different, like the standoff, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just walking around in a circle,
right?
And it's like, it just felt so refreshing because that's right in the middle of the game, and it's just totally unique boss fight. You never do that again,
right?
But I don't know. It's just things like that, like you said. They're not afraid to just, we want to do this now. We want to try this. We want to,
Yeah, like when you're looking at it from a gameplay perspective, and both of us are like, okay, we got to finish this thing, and it's like, oh, there are 6 bosses, and you're just like, I'm on 3, and it's just like, oh my god. But it kept it fresh. Where I was like, oh, like I'm at the end of the game.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
and I think that's really cool. And then just to touch on, like, kind of in between, it's all platforming, right? So you're kind of running around I wouldn't even want to call it an open world. It's like a stage, right? So think like an old school like Spyro. It's open, you can run around it, but you're doing like platforming and things like that.
It's pretty linear though. I wouldn't. It's not as well. I guess like when you go into the world, Spyro's pretty linear. I guess at that point.
Maybe Spyro might not have been the best.
No. I see what you're saying.
You're still going to a destination,
right?
But I thought the platform was passable.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like
revolutionary,
the most solid thing, because everything else is to the beat. So when you're like jumping and zipping and doing different things, like it never felt like, oh, this is part of the rhythm, or oh, I have to jump on these things in a rhythm to get by something. You could. I don't think it maybe did as well, like either forcing you or making it feel good to do that. And I think one of the biggest things is the shadow. When you're jumping on platforming, one of the big things is make sure you have a shadow where you're about to land so you can tell where you're landing. I didn't think it did a good job with that.
No, and when you pointed that out, that was really good because he was watching me struggle with platforming, as I always do. But I totally agree with that. I wish there was more incorporation of the rhythm in the platforming itself. I think the grappling hook did a very good job of that, where you could time it up, and the jumping pad too, like the blue jumping pad.
Or when you're like going down like zip cords and stuff, there's kind of like an on rails dodge thing you have to do, which is
so that did a good job. But when you're jumping on the actual like circle platforms, where I think it hits like a hi-hat when you do those,
right?
Those always bugged me because it was like impossible to line those up on the beat, and it would just be off, and then I just felt like I was out of sync.
Yep.
So I wish, I think they could have done a little bit more with that. But I agree. I think the platforming is probably the weakest part of the game. Not that it's bad. But.
The levels are interesting enough, and pulling in, because like your different teammates have different things. So it's like, the one teammate can like shoot stuff, the other one can like bust through walls, the other one can like put out fires. Yeah. So it's like you have these things that help, and they kind of talk through everything. And honestly, I think that it does a very good job seamlessly going from like, oh, here's a cutscene of them going to a, it's used as like a loading screen, almost like a transition into a new level. But it's like, because the artwork is so well done in the game, it just looks seamless. So it's like the only way it's a cutscene is because like you were saying earlier, the cutscene is in like a 24 frames a second or whatever, and it feels choppier. Which again, I don't know why they had to do it that way. Maybe if I watched
I think Digital Foundry explains it pretty well. They wanted to try to mirror that sense of watching a cartoon.
But that's the only disconnect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The transitions of it, like you said, are really cool. Like you go through a puff of smoke and now you're in a cutscene. It was like really well done. And if you were on like Xbox, it would have been super seamless and awesome. But
yeah, fair enough.
On PC, when like I'm going from 240 to 60 frames, so it was like,
it's a little jarring.
But no, yeah. So gameplay is fantastic. I think there's so many options, so many upgrades you can purchase. I had a blast with it, and I feel like, you know, if I had time, you could go through it again, just have a different play style, right? And buy different upgrades and focus on other things, right? Because I bought like all the combos like you did, and what I could have done is, you know, maybe bought more specials or maybe bought more of those chips and see how, you know,
little like, kind of like perk things.
Yeah,
that, like,
little perks.
Increase your cooldowns,
right? And spend my money there because I didn't have a lot of chips because I bought all the combos. So it's like you could really adjust your play style. So I think the gameplay is fantastic.
I wonder if that comes more into play. So the thing is, after the game ends, you have a bunch of extra like challenge rooms throughout the world. You can go and kind of like there's like an epilogue where it's like, oh, what's going on here? I thought we shut these guys down.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I watched the secret ending. Like after you do all those rooms, there's
a secret ending.
So you should watch that. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's that, and like you can go back and try, you know, get all the collectibles, do all the, you know, your timing and different things like that.
Yeah, so much content in the game. Like it's and there's customization that unlocks when you beat the game too. Like different suits and stuff. I found myself going through the little shop and like some of those things were funny, especially for the cat were great.
Like a little mohawk and everything. Yeah.
I like there's like a costume where the cat cosplays as her owner.
Oh,
and the
really?
owner cosplays as a cat. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
It was really funny. Yeah. Anyways, so there's costumes for all your teammates. And I wanted to mention this as well, real quick. A part of the costumes is the guitar you can change.
Yeah.
So the main character has a guitar that's like his weapon. Those are like all real guitars, like all like the main. I thought they really like did. I don't know. It's like those little touches, man. It was like. No, these are all of the best models, like real guitars. They did the work.
Yep.
These are fantastic.
Well, that's what like you were saying with Last of Us, and you were mentioning it last night, where it's like it's just quality.
Yep.
Like everything about it is quality. The writing, the movement, the tightness of just everything just seems so polished. Exactly. Yeah.
And they could have that's the thing too. It's like they could have just had they could have made their own guitar designs and blah, blah, blah. But no, they had the names of every guitar and what they looked like. It was just awesome. It's like, you want a Les Paul? Boom, right there.
Got some 9-inch nails in there with the music and stuff. Like, it's neat.
Yeah, we should talk about the music real quick. Fantastic. I mean, in a rhythm game, like I told you, because we were talking about this before we played it, I said, you know, this is going to be very dependent on the music. And it was really great because they got all these heavy hitters, but they supplement that with the own music that they made. And I thought it was really well done, like to get you from one big track to the other. Because usually the boss fights are an established band, an established song. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is awesome.
Symphony number 5 comes on.
Yeah, they had Beethoven there. That was hilarious. I think particularly the final boss, that music was great. But yeah, I think the stuff that they came up with too, I just huge shout out to that. I thought it was really well done and just kind of bridges that that gap.
It all seemed like it was from the same thing, which was great.
And the styles were not really the same, but they did a great job of like I said, bridging that to encompass all the different music that they had.
I mean, I've been listening to the soundtrack. They put it out on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I'm just like throughout the work day, I'm just like tapping because that's what I was doing the entire time I was playing that game, is like tapping my foot to try to keep the beat and everything. Yeah, it's so good.
Great game. The last thing I just wanted to mention on that is, I don't know if we touched on the visuals, but the art style is fantastic. I mean, it's all cell shaded. Cell shaded. Yeah. Shell shaded.
Seashells.
Anyways, it's that. And I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah, no, I think
you should watch the Digital Foundry video. They do a better job than I can explain it.
Typically, like, you'll have animation in the cutscenes that look better animated than like the game, and then the game's a little bit stiffer. And I just think that you really couldn't tell the difference between the two.
The game was really like, I don't know, it's really hard to describe, but they're trying to get this 2D effect.
Yep.
It's 2D animation, comic book-y feel in a 3D world, which presents a lot of challenges, and I think they do a fantastic job. Like you said, I think it's seamless. The in-game stuff is just as good as any of the cutscenes.
So the moment of truth, then, we got to rate this thing.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Okay, so I actually forget our ratings. Where do the different coins? Because I know we have coins. There's different tiers. Where are the different tiers? Like, what are the numbers for the tiers? Do you know that off by heart?
I do not. So I know 86 and higher is gold. Is gold tier.
Yeah, but then there's a plat tier.
There is a plat. Plat tier.
I'm just trying to get a sense.
I think plat tier is 96 and higher.
Is 96 and higher.
I believe
wow.
so.
Plat tier is serious.
Plat tier is
Plat tier is pretty serious. I think I have it saved in here. If you'll allow me a moment.
Sure, you can take it.
A moment of your time.
So I can say on my end, I actually gave this thing a 91.
A 91.
That's where I think it. So I believe Open Critic is sitting around like an 88, 89.
It is a 91 on Open Critic.
It's a 91 on Open Critic now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
there you go. I'm
just
right
saw
on.
Open Critic and you said, "Yep, that's
No. Are you sure? Is it really that?
I think so.
Okay, so the more reviews that are coming in, it's bumping up.
I can check real quick, but last time I checked, I believe it was 91.
I mean, that's great. So what are you feeling then?
Well, so the gold starts at 86. You said.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, I am checking Open Critic now, real quick.
Open Critic's at 90 right now.
It's at a 90. Okay, so you are one above.
One above it. I'm a little hot on it.
You're a little hot on it.
Now, I will say that a lot of that has to do with the writing. That's what pushed me over the edge. If the writing wasn't as good, it'd be maybe like an 86 or 85.
Yeah,
I think
if we're
the
talking
gameplay is good,
solely gameplay,
but the full package is just excellent.
Well, I totally agree with you. I mean, like we said, across the board, it is just quality across scores. Yep. So I totally agree with you, and I think I'm in the same ballpark. I landed at a 90.
Okay.
I was criticizing you, but apparently I'm the one
apparently
who
you're
saw
exactly
Open Critic, and here's our picture, by the way.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So 10 through 65 is nothing. 66 is copper or bronze, I guess, right?
Yeah.
76 is silver. 86 is gold. 96 is plat, and 100 is diamond.
Sure. Yeah.
Diamond coin.
I was going off of whatever your League of Legends BS is, I think, at that point. Or maybe it's Valorant.
Like pink.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, 90. I settled on 90, and for the same reasons. I think just across the board, it's just polished, well done.
Okay.
Everything hits. Not a perfect game.
Sure.
We mentioned some small things. So I think it's just a solid like gold tier.
So we
experience.
have to decide: is it 90 or 91 then?
Oh yeah, I guess I would give it 91. I like it. I'm not going to argue with that. 1 point.
You want to know why I wanted to give it that 1 point? Actually,
why?
So, at the end, whenever you get trapped, again, I don't want to spoil it.
Oh yeah,
but there's like you're trapped, and then you get untrapped.
Sure.
That scene made me. It was like it knew what it was doing.
Made you cry?
It didn't make me cry, but it was like a really touching.
That was a great
thing.
Song choice for that moment. Yeah.
To me, that was where I'm like, this is special.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, okay, it's 91.
Because you realize I really do care about these characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cared about every single one and like their arc and kind of where they were and everything.
Do you think they ever do a sequel to this?
I would hope so. I don't know.
Can you do a sequel to this?
I'm sure you could.
Well, you can. Should you do a sequel to this, I guess? I'm asking all the different questions. That's a different question.
I would love it if this was just hey, remember this awesome game?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, if this never gets any more content.
Evil Within. They got 2 Evil Withins in there. So it's like...
Well, in the trailer, too, it was like, makers of Evil Within. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's what I knew. It was like, oh, this could be funny.
Right.
They were very like, I don't know.
I'm trying to find the name of that thing before Calvin. Well, he's probably already texted us the answer.
He definitely already said. He texted you the minute you said it.
on
The game you're talking about, the rail game?
Trying to think of what
Digital Foundry compared it to like 2 older games. One was like an Xbox game. I don't know if that's the one
That's gotta be
like
it.
Original Xbox.
Oh, no, that's not it then.
Yeah. So I don't. Okay, so you're not. So they were comparing it to games I've never heard of that are, I guess, in a very similar style as this one. So.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead and go through the close up, and if I can't find it, I can't find it. I'm just screwed.
All right, well, that's all we have, apparently, as I slowly wrap up the end of this episode. Tyler frantically looks through his phone. We appreciate you for watching if you made it this far. I think that's all we have. Check us out on couchcompany.games. Got that new fancy website up there. All of our episodes are on there with fantastic AI art, which is kind of scary, actually. Kind of scary.
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Got it. All right.
And he's got it.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right. I feel better.
So check out our website, couchcompany.games. Everything's on there. All the links. Some weird AI art for our episodes.
Do you not like that?
It gives me nightmares.
It seems to turn you off a little bit.
No, I think it's artistic.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just going to keep doing it.
All of the episodes are on there. I think the top 5's not on there yet, though.
Not yet.
But we'll get to it.
Trying to find the right format.
Yeah, and that's about it. We will see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.